You're absolutely right. I think that the response to the defeat on Sunday, it was a big disappointment because I didn't feel we deserved what we got in the game, and sometimes that happens in football. But we have to make sure now that we respond quickly. We've got a tough game tomorrow night in Málaga. Both teams will be desperate to win, and from my point of view, all the focus from Sunday is on tomorrow night. And you're right, the right response would be for us to win the game. No, I said to you before the Bilbao game when you were asking me the question about whether we should be looking up the league or down the league at this point. I said that we look at the next game and we look at the victory in the next game. The Bilbao game, I don't think was reflective of the scoreline. I think the fans that were in the stadium, you that were watching, I think we should have been probably, on reflection, probably 2-1 up and probably should have had a penalty. Definitely should have had a penalty or two. And I don't think it was reflective. I think my disappointment in the game was after 70 minutes. Obviously, in terms of the reaction to us going a goal down, but we have to respond quickly. And the league table will change every week as it does do throughout the season. We have to focus on making sure our confidence is high, that our belief remains strong, and we perform like we have been doing in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I was happy with 70 minutes of that game on Saturday, and we should have been winning that game. And the game would have changed if we'd scored the first goal. Sunday. No, it's not affected the group. The reason that I asked for privacy in training is to sort of stop the sensationalism that occurs when people peer through fence walls and get part of what happened. I've had bigger arguments with my 5-year-old last night than happened on the pitch yesterday. If you watch training or even watch the under-15s, 14s or 13s tonight, you'll see this thing happen 3-4 times a week. It's a nonsense that this can be built into something sensational. It was forgot about within 3-4 seconds of it happening. And from my point of view, I have disappointment that we feel that something that harms Valencia, the fans, the players, by reporting an incorrect story or sensationalising the story, is for me unhelpful and something that I don't think we appreciate. But we can't stop it if people want to hide behind walls. But I don't think you can ask the question of why I want privacy. That's why I want privacy in my training sessions, because ultimately this happens probably 2-3 times a week. And if we're going to sensationalise something like this into something big, then I have no need to explain myself next time when you ask me why training is closed for much of the week.
Buenos días, Darío Puig, Marca. Mister, usted dijo después del partido de Bilbao que el equipo había jugado 70 minutos muy buenos, pero que luego los 20 restantes pues había pasado lo que había pasado. Por contra, Diego Alves dijo, nada más acabar el partido, que el equipo había enseñado una serie de estrategias durante la semana, pero que luego no había plasmado en el campo ese trabajo. ¿Cuál es la versión que debemos creernos? ¿La que usted dice o la que dicen sus jugadores?
Sorry, I don't know what Diego said that's different than what I said. We trained during the week and didn't perform to some of the things we should have done. Where? I'd have to understand more the detail of what Diego means. It seems a little bit vague. For 70 minutes, I was very happy with the performance. I think that if you were a Valencia fan in the ground, you were probably... it was a good game. I think they played well for part of that 70 minutes as well. But I think that we played well. We had the best chances. We should have had a penalty, probably even a sending off if it's a penalty, and they would have been down to 10 men. And then these moments where we missed the chances and we weren't clinical and we didn't get the decision or two. I think this is where the game changed for me. I think that obviously the first goal in the game was always going to be the most important. From 70 to 80, it was a very bad 10 minutes from us. And I take responsibility for that as well. But in terms of Diego's comments, I need to understand more of the detail of what we didn't do or what we did do. I'm a bit unclear. No, I don't think Danny's affected, because I think that before I came, I think Danny's used to having to cope with these moments. So I think that now he's in a position whereby all Danny ever says to me is, I want to play for the club. I want to give my all for the club. But if I get whistled, I still want the ball. I will fight for every minute of the game and play the way I play. He's a player who's a technical player, and will always try and play out from the back. He'll always try and pass the ball through midfield. And I think that's what we want in Valencia. We want a team who plays out from the back. We want a team who plays in midfield. And when a player gives the ball away in a deep area, and he's not the only one to give the ball away in a deep area, by the way. If you watch the game back, we do give the ball away in deep areas, as did Athletic Bilbao. The best chance we got in the first half was when an Athletic Bilbao defender gave it away in a deep area. So this happens in football, and I will never criticise players for doing the right things on the pitch by trying to play the right way. And Danny's in a good position. He's in a good mood. He's ready for the game tomorrow. He's trained this morning and trained yesterday, as are the rest of the players. But like I say, we have to go out on the pitch tomorrow as a team. And the incident yesterday on the training pitch that was reported suggests that maybe there are absolutely no problems in that dressing room. The dressing room is very united, very together, more together than it has been all season. And I think you know that. I think you know that this dressing room is behind what's happening. Yes, we need to get results. We need to win consistently and get result after result after result to allay the fears that the fans have, that people have. And that's the only way in which we will quieten critics.
Buenos días, señor Neville. Yo entiendo que usted se habrá hecho varias veces autocrítica de sí mismo, no del equipo, sino de sí mismo, autocrítica. Así que, señor Neville, ¿nos puede confesar cuáles son sus pecados? O dicho de otra forma, ¿en qué se está equivocando usted?
Sorry, where have I confessed sins? I'm specifically. I said I take responsibility. And of course I've made mistakes. I don't know a coach in the world who doesn't make mistakes, but I'm trying to... Is there a specific statement you're referring to from a previous press conference, or... I'm not going to tell you. But I've made mistakes. I'll be clear about that. And I'll be honest with you. And if I was sat in a private environment talking to you, I would be honest with you. I think I've done that as well. I've sat in a private environment with some of you, I think, and I've been honest and said things that I've done that I think... But then that's every single coach, I believe. I don't think every coach sits there and thinks they get every decision perfect. Is every substitution at exactly the right time? Is it exactly the right substitution? Is every training session absolutely perfect? You know, all these things. I assess myself first and foremost before the players. You've never heard me criticise one player ever in the 3 months that I've been here, and you never will. I will always take the responsibility myself, and I will even actually admit to the players where I think we as coaches can do better for them, and also I expect that they then come back and tell us in return. That's the way I work. But to give you specifics, I think you would fill your newspaper with them, wouldn't you? And you'd have a good day tomorrow. Let's concentrate on the game. You're absolutely right. We need to improve defensively and keep clean sheets. You're absolutely right. It was one of the things that I said before the game against Bilbao, because we kept a clean sheet in Vienna. We were winning 4-0, and I said, right, come on, we want a clean sheet mentality, but that's not just defenders. I never saw a defence keep a clean sheet or a goalkeeper. It's a whole team will keep a clean sheet. And from my point of view, it's a mentality thing. I think we're capable. I think for 65, 70 minutes on Sunday, we defended really well. And then once we conceded that one goal, we defended poorly for 5-10 minutes. And obviously that's something that we want to try and correct. But we need a clean sheet. But the pressure there is not just on the defence. The pressure has to be on the whole team, on us in our organisation, on the work we do on the training pitch. We all take responsibility. But you're right. You know, not having a clean sheet for 16 games is not good enough, and that's something we need to change, because clean sheets win your football matches. That's a guarantee. That's how we've been operating so far. I think for 2 or 3 reasons. One, I think in the early parts of me being here, in the first 6 to 8 weeks, it was to improve the fitness levels of all players simultaneously, and we almost did like a pre-season. The players who didn't play in midweek did a lot of physical work, and the players who didn't play at the weekend did a lot of physical work at the weekend. So to improve the physical level of the team, and to try and get all the squad up to a real high level of fitness. The fitness stats that I'm looking at now tells me that I think we're in a position where the squad is all fit, barring 1 or 2 small problems we have. We have a doubt over Enzo Perez tomorrow. And I'm trying to think, Ayman Abdennour may not just quite be ready because it's a hamstring. We might just give him another few days. But everybody else is clean. We have no more problems with the squad. So I think we're in a good position from a fitness point of view. I think we're in a good position from injuries point of view. I think now we can start to think about keeping a more consistent team. and playing more consistently, I think, from week to week and or from game to game. But I think initially it was more to get the fitness of the whole squad, the confidence of the whole squad up, and get them ready so that they were capable for a very important 2 or 3 months we have now. But I think in terms of your question, I think you'll see more consistency in terms of selection from Bilbao to Malaga to Madrid. No, the roller coaster that I mentioned in my press conference wasn't in reference to a player. It wasn't in reference to a single player. I think you're trying to connect the dots, but sort of missing out something. No, I think, to be fair, I think life's a roller coaster. I think football is a roller coaster. The career of a footballer is. I would say in the last 3 months, it's not been a roller coaster for Alvaro. I think before that, when he wasn't playing and he was injured, yeah, that's the roller coaster. But in the last 3 months, he's trained every single day. He's trained well. We've played him in a lot of games. He's won us points. He's won us cup matches. And from my point of view, I'm happy with Alvaro and what he's done for me. I think that to come back from the injury that he had, and obviously the time that he didn't play in the squad, where he was left out in the stands, obviously from that point of view, that was difficult for him. But from my point of view, since he's come, I don't think it's been a roller coaster. I think it's just been what I would call a normal football life, where you play some games, you score some goals, you miss a chance, you don't play, then you play the next game, you score. That's just football. I don't think it's been a roller coaster since I came. He's been very consistent in his attitude, very consistent in his performances. And when I think this morning we've just done set pieces out on the training pitch, and I see him organising and speaking to us as coaches, speaking to the rest of the players and leading. I'm very happy with his role in the team, in the squad, and how he's doing. You're absolutely right. I cannot disagree with one of the words that you've said. I played a career where we never practiced set pieces. We just went and won headers. And I don't believe in practicing set pieces. I believe in doing, we go through them, we have a set piece meeting, and we obviously ask the jobs of the players, and we involve the players in sometimes the discussions. But in the last 4 to 5 weeks, we've done set pieces the day before every game. And we've conceded too many goals from set pieces. The players are aware of this. They take responsibility as I take responsibility, and they won't feel like I'm betraying them when I say that collectively we're banging our heads against a brick wall to try and correct this problem, because it's causing us pain. It's causing us big pain. You think about the goal we can see against Real Madrid from a set piece when they're down to 10 men with 8 minutes to go. Going back that far, Villarreal away, 1-0 defeat was a set piece. We've got to stop conceding goals from set pieces. We have to fully concentrate and focus. We have to do our jobs on and off the pitch, me included. We have been practicing them, even though I don't believe, during my career we never did. But we have to correct this problem. I would say, if you said at the moment, what is the biggest problem we have, singularly, it would be that we have to get better at this. We have to get better at this. Because a lot of goals in football come from set pieces. It's become such an important part of the game because the delivery of the opposition is so good. Every time the opposition team comes and every time we come, we put fantastic delivery into the opposition box and they put fantastic delivery into ours. And you need real good concentration, good organisation, an aggressive mentality. And we've been working on this for the last 4, 5, 6 games every day before the game. We've just done it now for 20 minutes. So, yeah, we have to get better at this. I can't sit here and say that, we don't have a problem, because we've had problems in the last few games with this, and we have to get better, and we have to do it now. Because we played on Saturday in a good game, but then we cannot make the mistake for the set piece and things like this. It's costing us. The goal against, I think, Getafe was a set piece as well. Or came from a set piece, I think. So there's many games, too many games. And that's me being very honest with you. I'm not sure what the club will get out of. I don't know what Damien. I don't know if there is a position from the club on. I'm asking the question because I don't know what the official club position is. I think the club will absolutely support the young players and the academy to do everything they can to try and get the best outcome for the players, because they were distraught. They were absolutely distraught last Wednesday, and we had 3 or 4 come to travel with us to Vienna. And obviously they were happy to come to travel with us to Vienna to be in the first team, but they still were disappointed about what had happened the day before. So, no, I think the club will do the maximum it can. And hopefully those players will get the opportunity to go and, at the very minimum, take the penalties again, maybe play the match again. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. The club will work with UEFA to try and get the best outcome, I'm sure. Yeah, he has a fantastic character. I think since I came, I can give you the story of my story of Enzo Perez, because my story of Enzo Perez is only for 3 months. In the first day I came here, he picked up a slight problem against Barcelona in the previous game. I think it was a problem with his thigh or his hamstring. I think it was his hamstring actually. And he said, "I want to play on Wednesday night for you in the Champions League. It's so important." And he played with an injury, and he took a risk for himself and for the club. And he was out for 2-3 weeks after that. He then came back in his first or second game and got an incredible impact to the jaw and had a broken jaw, but played on with it for 70 minutes, which again shows the toughness of character and the type of person that he is. On Sunday, he got a very nasty kick to his calf, but carried on. But obviously the problem when you get an impact injury to your leg and to a muscle is that with us having games every 2-3 days, these injuries get worse for 1 or 2, 3 days after, because they're an impact injury. It takes some time to settle down. I'm not sure he'll make it tomorrow in the game. However, the fact that now we have Javi Fuego fit, we have Danilo, we have Andre Gomez, we have Dani Parejo, we can handle the injuries better than we did do 3-4 weeks ago. Because a few weeks ago we didn't have Javi Fuego, we didn't have Enzo, so any injury that we got left us short. Now I think obviously we're disappointed that Enzo picked up an injury on Sunday. I think I'll get the final message when I go back in about whether he's going to be okay, but I think it's doubtful. But Javi Fuego's trained this morning. He played last week against Rapid Vienna. He's now back to full fitness, and that's where now we're in a stronger position with the squad that we have and the players that are fit. It's a tough place to go. It's a very tough place to go. I think that every place in the league, as you look at Granada, it's a tough place to go. I think that from Malaga's point of view, they have a very organised style of play. They press well up the pitch. They have 2 good strikers. They attack well down the flanks. So from our point of view, we're fully aware of their strengths, but I'm sure they'll be fully aware of our strengths as well and how we are. We've got good players as well. And tomorrow, I think, of course, if we allow them to pose us problems and we don't deal with their weakness, their strengths, then you have a problem in every single game. But from our point of view, we have to impose ourselves. We're in a good position. We shouldn't forget that we played well in that game on Sunday for 70 minutes, and that I think we should have been 2-3-1 up in the match. We weren't, and that's clouding the judgment of the build-up to this game. And from my point of view, I just want us to play like we have done in the previous 2 or 3 weeks, apart from that 10 minutes between 70 and 80 minutes on Saturday, and we'll be fine tomorrow.